Rapid fire review for Impera by Ghost. The band's very clearly continuing their 80s worship sound, stepping more into arena rock than ever before. Though I'd say if you've been paying attention, that's not very shocking. I'd say the balance this time around is a little bit more convincing, honestly. It's a better balance with their older sound. And I was pretty concerned going into this, considering the singles were kind of hit or miss for me, especially 20s, which is still kind of one of my least favorite tracks on the album. It's got some really sick brass elements and a really mean instrumental to boot, and then it stacks it off with some of the goofiest damn lyrics I have ever heard in my life. Fortunately, as far as said lyrics go, the rest of the album cleans it up quite a bit, with some pretty prominent lines in Kayseri on the opening track. The production's never been a weak point for them, but I'd say here it's still good. The guitars and drums in particular lend themselves to a much punchier and more aggressive sound that balances out really well with the fact that they're basically playing Duran Duran Speaks Devil Worship. Though as far as Ghost goes, heaviness is always subjective. Even at their heaviest, they were never something I'd ever consider to be really heavy for modern metal at all, and that remains true here. Fans of the old material are still going to be pretty bent out of shape over the arena rock sound of this album. That said, if you're not particularly tied to the sound, you're going to find a lot to like here, where they come up with a lot of different sounds and a little bit more of a wider spectrum of influences than the last couple of records. And as well, that kind of leads this to being one of the best records in years. That being said, I've never really considered any of their records to be really incredible from start to finish. I've always found skips on some of them, and that remains true here. The last half of the album absolutely sags a little bit. As we already spoke about, I don't really like 20s. Darkness at the Heart of My Love is a power ballad that doesn't really do much for me. It's not nearly as fun and energetic as Dance Macabre from the last album. And then we got Griftwood, which kind of sags as it's like a 5-minute song that could have easily been 2 to 3. And that brings me on to my next point. It's something that I've not liked about their albums ever since Meliora, which is the use of interludes, where they really like to pack the last half of the album with the interludes. And I kind of feel like it bloats it out, it breaks it up, and then it's disappointing when you're looking at 12 tracks and 3 of them turn out to just be like little tiny segues with like horns and piano and shit. That being said, the last song, Respite on the Spital Fields, is sick as hell. It is a prog epic and a very inventive way to close this out. Even if the lyrics about Jack the Ripper get a little on the nose and distracting sometimes, like I said, it never gets as silly as the 20s. So yeah, I guess that's really what it comes down to. Overall, Ghost is still Ghost, but here they're a little bit tighter and they have a little bit more meat on their bones. So if you like Ghost, definitely recommend it. If you're still looking for them to return to their old sound, skip it. If you're looking for something on the heavier side, skip it. Let me know what you guys think about the format. It's not going to replace my reviews over on YouTube, of course, but it's just something to add on to what I'm already making on my other channels.